Let's talk about the AOC dress then. What's your take on
it? My take is too much talk about it. I'm fine with going to a gala like that if you're going to. It seems like the kind of thing which is like I want to go to this, so I gotta wear. I gotta do something.
You gotta do something.
That's what I thought was like bad about it. Which is like, of course I'm gonna go.
It seemed like transparent like that. Honestly my issue with it wasn't the dress necessarily. It was something she was saying on the carpet in like one of the interviews where she was talking about taxing the rich and like, you know, we need to bring like fairness to the world, to like the country or whatever, and like we need to bring all classes to the table. Talking about like bring the lower class to the table and stuff like that, and that to me is like
no, there's only one class that needs to be at
your table costs $30,000.
Like bringing it just reeks of like this sort of class collaboration, which is like not what it's about. If everyone is at the table, who do you think is going to have the largest voice and most influence at that table? There's a class of people who shouldn't be at the table. So that was really the thing that bothered me about
Or
it.
if we get to the fucking table, like there should be, we should be able to organize before we get to that table.
Yeah, there's a whole like the whole framing of it. And I know she's trying to make it palatable to people. That's part of her whole thing is like I'm trying to make these ideas palatable to people at large. And I think in some cases it turns off both sides. So that kind of bugged me.
I don't think we should be nice to rich people, and I say this as a rich person. I like fuck rich people.
Yeah,
like
fuck
you're so stupid. It's like if you're listening to this right now, and in your mind you like immediately want to rush to the defense of like wealthy people, and do that by, and a lot of people do this in my stream. Like they come in, they're like defending fucking tax cuts for the wealthy. I'm like, dude, you're so stupid. You're a stupid person.
Really? They do that?
Oh, I mean, people have a lot of stupid opinions.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
It's like, look, I mean, there's plenty of nice people that are rich. Some of them have become rich off of their own personal labor. Some of them have become rich in like less exploitative ways than others. But ultimately, like, when push comes to shove, I think people, no matter what position they're in the higher echelons of society.
Yeah, we're talking about rich.
No,
I think you can get rich on your own personal labor. I think you can't get rich. You know what I mean?
Now you can. There's like fucking labor billionaires and shit. There's like super athletes out there, mega athletes that like literally have those kinds of contracts now. I mean, endorsements are a big part of it too, but still, like that's still significantly less exploitative. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because everyone should be willing and able to and interested in giving back more, okay, and that's where I think that's where everything breaks down when like people are unwilling to do that.
Yeah, once you get to a certain level, it becomes like it changes your brain a little bit, right? Like
for sure.
Aside from just like having more, and you're also separated more from people. You're separated from normal daily life. And it does like sort of change like how you view. It's like what like Elon Musk doesn't like being on public transport because he thinks people are like sticky and gross, which like fair, but
it's literally true though. It's the one time Elon Musk is true.
Good point.
He's
but
right.
it's if I don't know if people are eating gold and then other people are not eating, that's a problem still, no matter what.
Okay, what do you think about the president vote? And the crying.
Man,
I love AOC. Like she's my friend.
She could have voted no and cried.
Yeah, that would have been way tighter. Like,
hasn't she had like? There's like some quote of her talking about like present votes and how like they're cowardly and like if you.
I'm sure there is.
Probably is.
They were. I hate to hand it to the Republicans or the K-Hive, but they were saying AOC stands for always on camera.
That's good. Don't give him any chum.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because it's like the kind of thing where like, I have to at least believe a little bit that some people get into politics because they actually want to help people. Like,
yeah,
not everybody obviously, but like there's got to be a few.
No, I legitimately think AOC is a person that got into politics because she wants to help people, And I fear very much that, like, you know, the media, the glitz, the glamour, and overall being welcomed by like the liberal institutions could slowly chip away
Absolutely.
at that,
No, that's
at
what
that
happens.
moral foundation. And that's something I very much fear. I don't think she's like fully there yet, but foreign policy always she's been a little like not.
And that's
as
like sort of a
consistent.
bipartisan American thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like there are very few people who are willing to say like, wait, let's not do that.
Yeah. And
But I think there's also like an aspect where, because I think that it is that sort of like the attention, the glamour, and the like all the sort of like the things that come with it are helping her along that path. But also inside, you get in there and then you have all these people who have been there for years being like, this is just how it works. This is just how it is. This is what you got to do. You got to do this. And sort of like being convinced that you have to play the game, because if you don't, then you're out.
politically, it was the worst thing she could have done, though. Like, that was really silly, because the people that are on the, like, militantly on the side of IDF, the apartheid state, like, they don't care. They think you're anti-Semitic, or
right? No matter what. No matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. Even if they don't believe you're anti-Semitic, they will say you're anti-Semitic.
Right.
So it's not going to change anything. Just purely with your allegiance to Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, you are already cooked on that front, right? If you vote yes, then like Jamal Bowman did, and that was really cowardly, and we're not even fucking talking about it. And the reason why we're not talking about it is because he fucking voted
one
yes.
or the other,
because
yeah.
it's gonna pass regardless, like, 420 to fucking 9 or whatever.
All that shit will, yeah.
Yeah, those. It's crazy. Like, that's going to pass no matter what happens. Like, we are always going to give Israel money. We are giving Israel money, but then we're giving them an additional $1 billion to refuel their fucking.
Had to have a separate thing. Had to like take some time. Be like, don't worry, we'll. Make
That's
sure
the funny thing that I always. There's a humorous part of that where people are like, well, this is defensive. It's the Iron Dome. It's like, first of all, one, they can literally fucking pay for it on their own. They're super rich. They're like a very wealthy nation. Okay, they have a lot of money. Just let them pay for it. Like, okay.
Also, will $1 billion will do it? You couldn't find that $1 billion, and like you need this specific $1 billion.
So that's one.
This is the final piece of the Death Star.
Two, like, just defensive. Okay, like, sure. When we give Israel $1 billion for their Iron Dome, that's just defensive. If it's just defensive, why don't we give fucking the Gaza Strip the Iron Dome too?
Interesting.
Like, come on, you're not taking a side in it. You're just just defensive.
Everybody gets an Iron Dome.
Yeah, what's up? Like, can we do that? No, of course we can't do that.
Program.
Because everybody knows that that's not just defensive. You are taking a side in an apartheid state, and you're actively supporting the apartheid state in that situation. You are actively putting your weight behind the superpower that currently operates the world's largest open-air prison in Gaza, with more than 1 million people just basically living in incredibly horrifying conditions. And Israel controls their water supply, their electricity, their telecommunications, and everything. It is disastrous. And of course, predictably, America is siding with the oppressor rather than the oppressed in that situation. And you gotta
build a wall to defend from the horde, right?
Yeah. It's just
the beasts, right?
We did literally build their wall.
Yeah, I know.
So there is that too.
That's how they talk about it. It's really, it's very clear.
So I don't understand why she would have voted. Like, why she voted fucking president. I don't understand that at all. Just vote no or yes, and it wouldn't even be like that much of a conversation.
Well, right. It's because it was neither that it was even. Yeah. An issue and talked about, and then
her response was like terrible too. She's like,
I'm not gonna read that.
I didn't read it, but
why would you? Why did you read that?
I saw parts of it. It was like, if you're calling me a coward, like, I understand, you're valid. It's like, well, okay, well, we're also
that adopting like that sort of like a inclusive language to like excuse your behavior, where it's like, don't say I'm fucking valid. Say sorry, you made a mistake. You will never do it again, and then don't do it again.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous, but I guess maybe it works. I mean, ultimately, she's like, I always go back to this, but like, she's great. She does a lot of mutual aid. She's great for her district. She does a lot of great stuff for her district. She's there to push for like important legislation. She's influential. I think she's inspiring. a lot of young people to, believe that they also can have
they
a
can do
say,
that. Exactly.
and like go out and
like
do more than just voting. Like that's all
Yeah.
huge. It's important, but like don't inspire them to fucking vote present on a
Right.
On
And she's
a bill
like a
that's
good
gonna
communicator
pass.
too, like ultimately, and people like
Yeah.
her. I mean, a lot of people hate her too,
Yeah.
but that's just the nature of things.
I'm legit shocked that because it was such a bad move.
Yeah.
It was like the worst of all. It was the worst scenario.
Yeah, it's a very
overall.
weird choice. Like I understand, like I in theory understand her predicament in terms of her district, but like you were saying, like even if she voted yes, like it wouldn't have changed anybody's mind either way.
Yeah. You think they're not going to cut, ads saying that you fucking despise Israel? They're
Exactly.
Gonna,
They're gonna show pictures of you with, like you said, like Omar and
already.
Tlaib and stuff. And it's like, okay,
Yeah, exactly.
no matter what.
I'm saying it, dude.